America. This is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the walls. The chair is against the walls. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
Guys and gals have gone.
Welcome to our Daily Gun Show. Going to be live every weeknight when possible at midnight Eastern, and we talk about guns. There's a couple people watching, so let us know on the YouTube side if you have a question or you do something, if you want to join. It sends a couple of links out tonight, and we'll see if there's anybody's couple of names on gun channels. We'll see if anybody jumps in. But since YouTube doesn't send out anything until we're live, I just decided to go live. And then I'll send out some links over here on gun channels if anybody's around. Like that. And otherwise, it'll be a short show. I'm not really getting paid to do the show. I just like to do the show for the Patreons, if they're out there, if they're listening, or for anybody else who's listening to the show, I guess. And what's this all about? Yep, it's still a thing. So, we got a couple of links out there. I don't know if it's awake. Is that a nice strike?
Yeah.
Yep, I think you're the only one awake. What are you working on the tube?
Yeah. Reinstalling everything.
Mm-hmm. So DTP is out there. So I'm not one to just get on here and blab, so I just figured I'd make a room, invite some people, see what happens. I did want to effort this week to mobilize and get people some ideas, some strategies on getting out there. So that's a topic for tonight if anybody wants to jump in and talk about that. Otherwise, again, no requirement for a show, just trying to offer it. So, oh, nice strike. Oh, no, you're still there. It's weird. So what happens? Okay, if you hover off of the screen, I guess all the stuff just fades and includes the thumbnails. So that would freak me out. When I went back to the screen, I didn't see Night Strike there. So
well, you can switch it to Brady Bunch mode.
What is this? So that now it just stays there, you're saying?
No, just click the toggle tile view, and it turns it to Brady Bunch mode.
Why is it blue around you? Oh, it's just who's talking. So then...
That's show who's talking, yeah.
So again, we'll see if anybody jumps in. But as far as strategies for getting there, I started out with the idea that there's industry out there and they're failing. And just earlier today, I think it was some chat I was in, and they were suggesting, it was Nut and Matt were saying that gun shops should sell sporting goods. And I guess that's one thing they can do is for a gun shop to diversify their product line, but they can offer products and services. So I'd like to see gun shops utilize if they have like a CCW room, or if they have the ability to pull some chairs into the center of the building or something, or, to the showroom, I guess I should have said. Depending on how it's laid out or how their stuff is set up, what kind of neighborhood they're in and stuff. And then offer other things, think outside the box. There's other things that can be done. Now, you don't have to implement them all this month, but it's certainly an opportunity this month with the rally and mobilizing to get yourself and others to the rally. There's a potential to go into a shop, but same thing with manufacturers. And then you got the accessories, the holsters, and the other paraphernalia that has to do with guns. But we also, I'm repeating stuff, but we also got other kinds of businesses. So I figured if anybody shows up, we can chat a bit about other fundraising strategies, and then potentially also who all to reach out to. So there's, in other words, one thing to get some people to DC, or even if that's the goal, to get people to DC. It's one thing to get somebody who's familiar with travel and able to travel, and it's another thing to get somebody, like, teach them how to travel and then pay for them to travel and then encourage them. It's too many things. So if we can get just the people that know how to travel there, then that's one thing. And that might be, again, motorcycle clubs, people that vacation, yearly or something, like on an annual thing. Because I keep thinking of that because when I was a kid, we had a camper, different kinds of campers and trailers and stuff, but we always went camping in a trailer, or I mean, vacationing in like on a road trip in a camper or a trailer or something. And I suppose it was to save money. I really don't know, but it was also a lot of fun. My grandparents' friends would sometimes either go with us for like a big portion or even the entire trip, or we would meet some people here and other people there, or maybe I don't even know because I was a little kid, but maybe sometimes people were staying here and there and we would go to both. I really don't know, but I do remember that there was quite a bit of, I don't know what the word is, like community camaraderie with RV people in those KOA campgrounds and the different brands and flavors of camper. I don't know what they're called, affiliations and stuff, kind of like AAA or Good Sam, right? So there's those kind of things, people that travel because that's how they travel, that's how they vacation. I keep thinking road clubs, like motorcycles, just because there's a motorcycle group or club that had or that kind of hosted the last Arizona Pro Gun Rally. It just makes sense, right? Motorcycles usually are looking for an excuse to go on a road trip, right? And they're motorcycles, so they're used to doing it. I'm guessing they're used to doing it a little more on the, not so much on the fly, but they don't have to deal with so much. They're in a motorcycle, so they're by nature, they don't have to worry about weatherizing the camper, or if the camper just got weatherized, unweatherizing it, or, bad tire. They only got 2 tires. There's just less stuff to deal with on a motorcycle. I think they're just a little more able to be active, get on the road. But that said, people that travel in their vehicles, cars and trucks, I guess, but cars and vans and that kind of thing, like just regular vehicles, not RVs, same thing. I mean, they could be prepared. They might travel. I guess people probably take road trips all the dang time. So again, if we're looking at people who already know how to travel, people already accustomed to it, people that might already have budgeted travel in for this time of year, like think about all the people that are factoring in or planning on a trip to the Leaves or something. I know that that's the thing people do back, I don't know, I guess everywhere north where there's trees that turn color, just taking a weekend and going out and having a bed and breakfast somewhere or something, or just staying in some hotel and then, experiencing the restaurants and checking out the nature and all that. That's something that a lot of people do on an annual basis, or maybe even more than once if they're really into it. So that kind of person, again, that kind of organization, that kind of group, for some reason that made me think of bird watchers and other nature people that aren't hunting necessarily. But again, I know bird watchers come out here to Arizona quite a bit. We've got some corridors here where quite a few birds kind of get bottlenecked. So they have a better chance of seeing a whole bunch at a certain target time. Actually, it might be this time of year even, I don't know. But again, those are people that travel already for their hobby. Think about gun show people. Dang, again, kind of industry, but on the sideline. Think how many of those beef jerky people and jewelry and plates and CBD oils now, that's a big thing. And of course, all the just regular gun industry stuff. People that don't either have brick and mortars or their brick and mortar is pales in comparison to their gun show stuff. Some of those people travel gun shows for a living. Definitely be more travel time if they were coming from this side of the country. But heck, on that side of the country, that might not even be sacrificed on a gun show. That just might be adding one more trip to a busy gun show schedule. I mean, that might be asking a lot, but I'm just trying to come up with ideas for people who might already, be on the road. Of course, we got truckers and anybody who drives for a living. All right, well, I'm not going to make Nice Strike come up with all this, and we only got 2 people out there. Yeah, well. So thanks for jumping in, but we can end it. I've tried to go live long enough for the alerts to go out, and the email's been out. So if anybody's going to jump in, they probably would have. Nobody's saying anything except for hello, and that's not a conversation. That's indicating you're out there, but I'm done talking. So give it a moment here. You want to say anything before we head out, I guess?
Well, I don't know if you wanted to discuss, going to, the rally in November. It's just, some of us could go if we were able to, carpool with others, and that way we can get more people there to, do the whole advocacy thing. And
quit saying because I don't know, and I don't. I mean, yes, obviously people could carpool, but if you listen to what I just said, I'm not interested in excuses. We've had 13 years of excuses why we didn't even ever have a rally, and that fosters around the excuse mentality of anything. First answer is always an excuse. So my goal was to get some shows this week to talk about alternatives to that. And like I just said, we got the possibility of people who are already on the road, people that travel either for a living or because of their hobbies or their interests, and potentially appealing to the gun owning portion of them. And then the idea of talking to industry. I've said it before, but I'm trying to come up with a new idea each day. So maybe the next idea would be I don't know, selling some service or doodad, maybe getting something together where we can work with a shop to offer some sort of I don't know, compensation for a sponsorship. But yeah, I'm not going to just wing ship by myself because that's not my goal. I'm not here to dictate shit or offer a bunch of. So anyway, if you want to throw anything else out there, like I said, it's not really out there tonight. We got 8 viewers, it says. Appreciate the likes, but again, I'm looking for a conversation. I'm not looking for a spotlight.
Other than that, not rushed. There's nothing else. I'm working on GunTube right now, so I'm not going to tell people to go to GunTube. But if you need to do a live stream or a podcast or something, use GunTube Chamber. It's up and running, and it's working.
Any idea of how long before you're constantly in it? Do you have a light at the end of the tunnel, or is it just unknown at this point?
The light at the end of the tunnel. The tunnel is pretty long. Let's just put it that way. I'm at probably the quarter-way part.
Okay, well, that's what I'm asking. Sometimes projects, that it's going to take a while, but you really don't know the parameters of it until you dig in. It's not like that. You know how much you got a lot to do.
And right now I'm only estimating because I don't want to bore people with that though.
All right. Well, I guess again, thanks for tuning in. Don't mean to jank anybody's chains, but I had some time here between some projects I'm working on, waiting for something to dry, basically, and threw out some links in an effort to offer some strategies to get to this rally. I guess I heard one person today who I didn't know their opinion on it, and in passing, like it was a live show I was watching, and in passing, they said something like, "No, we're not going." So that was the first major player I've seen who said they're not going. I've seen pretty much a lot of the YouTubers are on board now. Pretty much everybody that can get there that's like a writer and stuff seems to be going, from people I know. So it seems like that part of it's going to be pretty neat. I've just got some confirmations from 2 channels that they, let's see, one or 2 channels said, yeah, let's talk about the almanac. So I'll be chatting about the almanac on a couple more channels. And then I've got, today's Wednesday, right? So tomorrow I think I have the day off. And then Friday I've got 2 shows to talk about the almanac. So I'm practicing with that. And one of them is the Trenchwork Chronicles. I'm guessing you haven't heard of them, and they are new to me. They seem like some young kids that are going to be bringing him energy for damn sure. Point of view that I suspect is different just from listening to him interview. I think I listened to him interview Skip's Tactical the other day, just to kind of prepare for what their show is going to be like. And then I'm not really sure at their level of tech. Sometimes what seems like they're not paying a lot of attention on it. Somebody's just really good. They don't really need to spend a lot of time on their tech. So they didn't really talk about it too much. So I'm wondering, sometimes people are sitting in somebody else's studio. Sometimes people are just so savvy with it, they don't even talk about it. So anyway, I'm curious to see what they bring. Chat with them a little bit. I'll be on Gun Freedom Radio on Friday. And then I've got 3 different ones that I'm still kind of up in the air scheduling. So hopefully see every other couple of days, be chatting about that almanac. Again, the goal is to get the almanac made, of course, and if we can get the price down, that's great. But the idea would be to also explain to some of these people who I think are valid, are doing interesting things, but aren't necessarily video centric. So they might also be periodic, but not video centric. And to explain to them what this crowdfunding is all about, why I'm on to plug a crowdfunding project, and there's a little bit of an excuse to talk about the rally, depending on who I'm talking to. And is this thing broke? Was the last thing Vanessa Kitty like 7 minutes ago saying hello?
Well, that's
so. I don't know. Yep. So I guess people don't like watching this show. They're not interested in chatting with it. So I'll quit boring everybody. Thanks, Nice Try, for jumping in. It's always better to be sitting here. Otherwise, I would have ended about 7 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And thanks for the chamber. It is a better system. And yeah, everybody's having some sort of fit for night shows right now. There is no nighttime chat, but is there any issue with server capacity if I leave the chamber open off air?
Off air, no. Other than just people chatting, I guess.
I mean, it doesn't kill your server or cost you money if we're just in here chatting on here.
It's just bandwidth. That's all it does. All it costs.
Well, that costs you money. Is it significant cost?
No, not really.
All right. Well, then potentially I'll leave it open. I sent it to a couple of people that used to be up late. It's always possible there's not up late tonight, but we'll continue to effort to have an evening show again. And at some point, what'll happen is I've got a couple of unknowns. I got a giant bill coming up, which always happens this time of year, and I got a reprieve from it. I thought it was 2 months in a row for some reason. I got a reprieve, and I have to worry about that next month. Aside from that, though, of course, we got the potential of the trip. Once that's done, I think I'm freed up. Once there's not massive crippling bills overhead, then thanks to Patreons, I'm able to actually do stuff. So one of the things I like to start doing is the Daily Gun Show. Got a list of gripes from AmCon and from Gun Rights Policy Conference, which I'll focus on in each show. And then I've got the Almanac project. I'd like to incorporate that into the Daily Gun Show. So all things as planned, we'll continue to have the show. I'm probably going to just keep running it at midnight. And if you don't want to show up live, I don't care. And we'll just make it for noon the next day, but I'll run it at midnight. Because even in the winter, I think I'd rather be up late than trying to do this. Well, I'm not interested in doing it at noon. It's just right in the middle of the day, and it's just a dumb time to do a live show, I think. So I think I'll stick with midnight. Give me some feedback. It's your show as well. So if you're listening live, thanks again for showing up. It says it's 9 people out there, I think. How did it even look anymore? When this is concurrent, does that mean right now, or does that mean at one time there were 9 people here?
It says 9 people are watching right now on YouTube. That's it.
Yeah, okay. So we'll continue to do the show. Hopefully we'll get more people to show up to chat, and then we'll know who's out there, and we'll have more people showing up on this end, and then it'll be more interesting to watch too. So we've done that before. Yeah, thanks for watching. Yeah, we can't get anybody to chat.